Algebraic fractions, guys. Okay, so I have here example number 1. You have 2x plus 1 divided by 2 added to 3x plus 1 divided by 4. Okay, if you could recall simple math, when you add, for example, when you add 1 over 2 plus 2 over 4, okay, you must have the same denominator. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we need to find the LCM. Okay, the LCM of both, right? So we're going to do the same thing as what we do with mathematics 1 here. So what we do in your basic math arithmetic, adding fraction, is the same thing as what we are going to do here. Okay? Alright. So what we are going to have here is we need to have the denominator of 4. Okay? So we will then recall the HCF between the two, because that's the number that we are going to multiply each one of them. If it doesn't have, then you can multiply this here and then this here. Okay? Alright? If it doesn't have. But since it has, the 2 and 4 has, and we can have the LCM of 4 instead of having 8. Why I'm saying 8 is because when you multiply this with 4, it becomes 8. This with 2, it becomes 8. Okay. And then after that, you are going to reduce your answer. So reduce it while you can from the beginning. Okay. So since you have 4 and 2 here, and 4 is a multiple of 2, okay, right, and 2 is a factor of 4, then we can multiply this with 2 and multiply this with 1, right? So I multiply that with 1, I multiply all of this, so I multiply this with 2. So there and there, okay? So what will happen here is you have 2 times 2x plus 1, okay, plus 3x, because that is multiplied by 1, plus 1 divided by 4. So 2 goes with that. Okay, so they are being multiplied. So this becomes the same denominator, and we can now add and multiply. But see this? There is a bracket. So what we're going to do is we will expand the bracket and then simplify. Okay, so 2 goes with that. That means 4x plus 2 plus 3x plus 1 divided by 4. Okay? Now 4x and 3x will combine, and 2 will also combine. Our answer here then is 7x plus 3 over 4. So this will be our answer now. Okay, so you have 7x plus 3. Right, let's have another one. So what happens here in example number 2 is that our denominator has variables in them. Okay, so they have variables. Okay, so what we are going to do, the principle here is that when you cannot find a denominator which is common, then you can combine them. Okay, so this one will be multiplied by this, and this one will be multiplied by this one. Alright? So the answer here will be, okay, so you will have 3 times 3x minus 1 minus, you'll have 4 times 2x minus 1. Okay, over, you're just going to write 2x minus 1 and then 3x minus 1. Okay, so you have a minus stop here, so remember this all the time. So we distribute this, that, distribute. So what will happen is you are going to have 9x minus 3 minus, that's a positive 8x, x minus 4. Then again, this, remember that the minus sign, that's greater rule there. Okay, so this is a minus sign. What we are going to do is we are going to make it a plus, make it minus here, and this becomes plus. Okay, so our answer then would be x only. What retains is the x here, and then you have a minus and a plus, plus 1 over 2x minus 1 and 3x minus 1. Okay, so do not combine this one, by the way. This is already simple. So, but you can, if you like to combine, then you're going to combine that becomes 6x squared and so on. But this is already simple, and we only need until here. Okay, so what if we're given this? You have 4y squared divided by 9x multiplied to 3x squared divided by 2y. Okay, so this is, since this is multiplication, we can cancel out the coefficients and also the powers. If you're going to look at, it's actually in a crisscross manner. Okay, so we can crash out by doing the cross manipulation. Okay, so for example, this 4 and 2 here, so we can reduce it. So we'll reduce this becomes 2 right here, this becomes 1, and this becomes cancelled out, becomes 1, this becomes 1 right here, and then 3 becomes 1, 9 becomes 3, and then x cancel, and then 1 here. What is left? Okay, so what is left now is we will have 1y here, so 2y. Okay, right over here it's 1 times 1. Okay, so you have 1x. So you can say 2yx or 2xy. Okay, that and that. And then you have 3 here and 1 only. So that means you will have over 3. So this will be our answer. Or you may say 2xy over 3. Right? This is the proper arrangement of the alphabetical arrangement of our variables. Alright, how about this example? So I have here x squared minus 9 over 10 multiply. So it's a multiplication, so we can cancel out some parts here. So for example, 5 and 10 will, we can reduce that, okay? Or if we will see that they are the same in the x direction, then we can cancel them out. And they will be equal to 1. This is x raised to the power 2 minus 9, and you have 5 over x minus 3. If you are going to look at this, this is just one factor of x squared minus 9. So what we can do is we will start with this one. We will factor out. Actually, factoring is one of the algebraic operations or on algebraic quantities, you know. So we can factor that one out. We can have here, okay, so this is minus, so that means you will have x plus 3 times x minus 3. Alright, so that when we minus that, when we multiply positive 3 and minus 3, that becomes minus 9. So this is over 10 here, then multiplied by 5 divided by x minus 3. Alright, so that's what I said to you earlier. There are like terms here, so we can cancel this x minus 3 out. So that would be equal to 1, okay. And 5 also, we can reduce this. So reduce 5, that will be equal to 1, so it will be equal to 2 here. Okay, then our answer would be x plus 3 divided by 2. This is the simplest form of this algebraic fraction. So when you are asked to simplify this type and you have a multiplication here, so what you are going to do, see if there are things to be factored out so that you can cancel the denominator and numerator, and then you simplify. Alright, let's have another example for this. Alright, so we have this part right here. We have a quadratic algebraic quantity. Okay, so it's a quadratic expression here. So what we are going to do, we will simplify this, and since it doesn't have any number here, then we can have x minus 5 over 10 times 5. Okay, so we'll separate one x. You will have x here, and then you will have x minus 5. Okay, so that when you multiply this x here, this becomes x squared, and that will be 5x. Okay, because there's nothing as constant here. So then we can, see, you can reduce something here. So we can cancel this out, this one, and then reduce this to 1, this is to 2. Then you multiply. So when we multiply, we do that like that. So our answer would be 1 over 2x. Okay, so this will be our answer. Nice.